Hello, everyone. We come together to nourish wisdom in the mind, in the very life element within us, formless, empty, clear, and pure. May we always remember that we are this pure element without shape or boundary. It may be called the mind or the life element. This life element, this mind, has nothing to do with the body at all. It is the primal nature, the original source from which all fabrications arise. And from these fabrications, all energies form, creating the body and the world of matter. In truth, we only dwell in this body for one purpose, to learn about our own nature. When we awaken and see that our true nature is the pure element, formless, empty, and crystal clear, then everything fabricated, even the very voice that is speaking now, can be recognized as not who we are. It is merely a phenomenon. This voice is not us speaking. It is only a ripple of the mind. Mental images are also ripples of the mind. Emotions, whether happiness, sadness, satisfaction, dissatisfaction, calmness, or neutrality, are just ripples of the mind. Even memory, even the very act of knowing right now, are but appearances within the mind. They are not the mind itself. They are not who we are. Do you see? When the mind understands in this way and accepts the truth, it naturally lets go. It loosens from its grip, and a quality arises that can only be described as lightness and spacious ease. Pay close attention to this. When you listen to my talks often, again and again, until my voice resounds within your mind at all times, then the results will be unmistakable. There will be lightness. There will be openness. Life itself will change. A person who once thought too much, who could not sleep, who lived in stress, will find themselves transformed, thinking less, sleeping easily, and freed from stress. You will suddenly realize, how has my life changed so much? Why do I no longer suffer over anything? Listen often, and these very changes will surely happen within you. It does not take long, and then comes the breakthrough, a sudden and profound realization that bursts forth into the pure element, into your very mind itself. You will see directly that you have never truly been born into this world. At that moment, when you awaken to your own pure element, tears will flow uncontrollably. Observe carefully. Whoever listens to my talks and suddenly feels, now I understand, will find tears flowing without knowing the reason. The tears come from the realization, how foolish I have been, for there is nothing that is truly me. The belief that we are human beings collapses. The belief that this is truly my father, this is truly my mother, falls apart. When awakening arises within and one sees the voice speaking in the mind, there is the realization that everything arises only because we think it so. That inner voice is connected with everything. Even father and mother are only voices, only mental images we have conceived. Children and grandchildren are nothing but fabrications of thought. Friends, pets, houses, cars, wealth, even this body itself, are fabrications we have created. Whoever sees in this way will weep, will feel release, as if standing in vast space where nothing remains. This is the beginning. As we continue to see, to observe and remain awake within, notice carefully. When you listen to my talks and observe the voice in the mind, speaking this and that, the thoughts, the inner speaking, this is what we have always relied on. Why must we rely on it? Because we are the pure element, formless and without shape. Do you know, on the day of my awakening, all knowing shattered into fine fragments. The thoughts shattered, mental images shattered, emotions shattered, even perception and memory shattered, until nothing remained. What was left was only one nature, vast, empty, crystal clear, utterly pure, merging into one with the elemental universe. This is the deathless element, the primal source, the origin of all things. When I realized this, tears flowed, for everything once clung to as me or mine was completely lost. Only then did I know the truth. It was as though I had been dreaming. Returning to the original pure element, I saw that what I had taken as real, the body, the speaking, was only a dream. Oh, how could such a thing ever be explained to human beings? Would they understand? Would they accept it? Think about your own dreams. While dreaming, everything is real. There is pain, there is feeling. Everything is true in that dream world. But the moment we wake, it is not real. In the world of dreams, sometimes one dreams of being haunted by a ghost. Walking into the forest, a ghost appears, hanging upside down, then vanishes and reappears beside us with long hair. We panic and run. It is dark with no flashlight, only the moonlight to guide us. Running and stumbling, covered in sweat, yet the ghost remains right next to us. We run endlessly, in great pain, with scraped arms and legs, heart pounding, hair standing on end, terror piercing the mind. Wherever we go, it follows. We leap into a large water jar, thinking it cannot get in, but once inside, it is still beside us. Oh, how can this be? It is about to bite our neck. We scramble out, kicking at the ghost, tumbling head first, falling again and again, crawling to escape. At last, desperate, we leap into the river, thinking ghosts fear water. Swimming, diving, opening our eyes. It is right there before us. In that instant we drown. We suffocate, unable to breathe, dying. Then we wake with a start, drenched in sweat, as if truly dead. It was only a dream. Upon waking, we scolded ourselves. How foolish I was, running from a ghost. The dream was so real, every detail vivid, yet it was not real at all. Running from a ghost all night long, searching for escape, even drowning, it felt real. But the moment we woke, it was nothing. The story had no real existence. Do you understand this? It is the same now. Do you believe your suffering is truly real? Know that it is not real. Do you believe your happiness is real? Know that it is not real. Do you believe this body is really yours? Know that it is not real. Do you believe these thoughts, this speaking, this hearing right now are real? Know that they are not real. Will you accept this? I have awakened to the pure element more than 10 years ago. It is as if we are released from being human, for the sense of being a human being shattered into fragments. On the day the mind accepted that this body is not who we are, it became clear that this very voice is what creates the sense of body, the sense of thinking, the sense of emotion, the sense of knowing. This voice creates it all. Seeing clearly, knowing knows by itself, the voice speaks by itself, and we see that none of it is real. Nothing is truly me, nothing truly exists. Even this world has no real existence. This body has no real existence. This is the very point that human beings cannot understand. When everything we once believed to be us has shattered into fragments, what remains is only emptiness, clear, pure and vast, merging into the whole universe. Then comes the realization. This very essence is the element, utterly pure, free from all suffering. There is no self left, nothing to point to as me, and this itself is life. Truly, what we are is life itself. We are the primal element, formless, crystal clear, perfectly pure. This element shines with wisdom, a wisdom that radiates throughout the whole universe. It is the most wondrous of all things, something never known since birth, that we are this very element. Only now do we understand. We merely dwell in this vessel of a body, and not for any other purpose. We are here only to know that we are the pure element. We rely on this voice, on perception, on emotions, on mental images, on memory. We use these tools only to realize that we are the mind, the pure element. Once this is known, these tools lose all value. When this body breaks apart, it no longer matters, for the sense of being a person is gone. This experience can happen to anyone who listens deeply to these talks and turns the mind back toward its source. Then suffering vanishes. The suffering that weighed upon us our whole lives collapses and disappears. No more happiness, no more suffering. Even laughter no longer carries the sense of being me. We become emptiness, untouched by this world. The voice speaking now belongs to another realm. It has nothing to do with us. To speak plainly, we have never been born into this world. The inner voice that keeps speaking, the thoughts that run endlessly, this is what we have clung to and mistaken as ourselves, but it is not ours. See clearly that the voice in the mind, the constant thinking that even drives us into madness, is not us. It thinks on its own. It is only a ripple of the mind. It is just an appearance, not the mind itself, not who we are. We are the mind. Understand this clearly. The crystal clear emptiness before us, though we cannot touch it with our hands, that is the mind. We are one and the same with this pure, transparent emptiness, which pervades and merges with the whole universe. We are this very emptiness. Within this crystal clear space, other things dwell, such as oxygen and carbon dioxide. These can be compared to good and evil, or to happiness and suffering. But ask yourself, can these kinds of air affect the clear emptiness itself? Not at all. They are of a different nature. Emptiness is not air, and it does not even know what oxygen or carbon dioxide are. In the same way, our mind does not truly know what good or evil is, nor what happiness or suffering is. This clear emptiness also contains hot and cold air, but hot air is not emptiness, and cold air is not emptiness. Do you see? In the same way, when happiness arises, we are not bound up with happiness. It is of a different order. When suffering arises, or when feelings of satisfaction or dissatisfaction appear, simply see that these states arise on their own and then pass away on their own. No one owns them. The mind itself is not involved at all. I want to emphasize here, emotions of every kind are not us, not ours. Even neutrality is not us. Even calm is not us. We have no true connection with emotions, yet we sink into them, especially suffering. When we suffer, we drown in that sorrow, crying, grieving, convinced that suffering is really ours. But let us take a closer look. Does suffering truly have a self? Can you shape it into a lump, hold it in your hand? You cannot. And if you cannot, then why sink into it? It has no form, no self. It is not who we are. So why cry over it? Why suffer? Where is this suffering emotion? Where does it actually exist? Once it is seen that it has no real self, then why suffer at all? It is nothing more than like carbon dioxide drifting in the clear, open emptiness. Whatever appears is still within that same crystal clear emptiness, which itself remains untouched and entirely uninvolved. Joyful emotions, bursts of laughter, and feelings of happiness, where are they really? Do they have a self, an essence, a place where they can be found? They do not. So why cling to them? Why chase after pleasant feelings and push away unpleasant ones? In truth, happiness and suffering are but two sides of the same coin. From birth until now, no one in this world has ever truly taught us this. Do you realize that what we truly are is the crystal clear, pure emptiness itself? Have you awakened to this? For me, I once did not know. I had no understanding, no true knowledge of the mind. But on the day I turned inward, dwelling awake within, and observing the inner voice that speaks without pause, I saw clearly, everything in this world arises only because we think it into being. When I recognized that it was all just thought, when I saw that the voice within is the one assigning meaning and value to everything, Then insight burst forth. Try it for yourself. Open a book, a newspaper, or a calendar. See the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do those written marks speak? Number. Then who is speaking? It is the voice in your own mind. The letters themselves do not say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, March 29th, 2025. The calendar does not speak. Only the inner voice does. Whoever sees this directly and realizes, then everything in this world is only thought into being. For that person, it is as though all the knowledge gathered over a lifetime shatters in an instant. The weight drops away. The heart feels light, free. Tears may flow. Whoever experiences this, rejoice. You are ready to be free from birth, ready to be free from suffering. From then on, thoughts are seen easily. The mind becomes attentive to them. From the moment of waking until sleep, it observes thoughts forming one after another, every second, every fraction of a second, unceasing. In the past we never knew this, but once we awaken within, it becomes obvious. The voice inside that speaks all the time is seen directly. When joy arises, it is seen clearly. It comes and it goes. When sorrow arises, it too is seen. It comes and it goes. Thoughts arise endlessly. For example, the thought may appear, I'd like to eat a whole pizza with hot stretching cheese, or maybe a sweet cold cup of ice cream. Instantly, an image appears. Yes, let's go buy it, let's eat pizza and ice cream, it will be delicious. The pictures appear as soon as the thought arises. When we think in this way, emotions soon follow. We pick up the phone and call the shop to place an order. After ordering, a sense of delight arises. Joy appears. But then, after a while, the shopkeeper calls back, sorry, everything is sold out. Other customers reserved it first, maybe next time. At that moment, thought arises instantly. The mental images of hot pizza with melting cheese and the cool ice cream collapse and vanish. A new emotion appears. Emotions are born from thinking. When things turn out as imagined, pleasant emotions arise. When they do not, unpleasant emotions arise. As soon as disappointment comes, the mind feels bored, dissatisfied. It keeps thinking, so annoying. I ordered early. It's not even noon yet and it's already gone. What should I do? I really want to eat it, do you see? The inner voice keeps complaining, and feelings of displeasure follow. Let us ask ourselves, do these things truly have any self? Does the very voice I am speaking right now have any real essence? And what about the murmuring voice inside the mind? It says, I shouldn't have missed it. I should have called earlier. Why did people buy it all? Now I have to travel 10 kilometers to another shop. It's such a hassle. Do you see how it keeps on thinking, keeps on speaking inside endlessly? Then emotions arise, boredom, frustration, loneliness, dissatisfaction, even anger. But do these states truly have any self at all? If they have no self, then why sink into them? Do you understand? Can you see now that it is this very voice that gives meaning and value to everything? When we see thoughts in this way, insight arises. In truth, emotions arise because of thought itself. Once we understand this, we no longer pay much attention to emotions, whether pleasant or unpleasant. Whatever the mind thinks, let it think. We simply see it. The result is a sense of lightness, relief. The mood feels strangely at ease. Even at work, where before we felt uneasy, today the heart feels lighter. A colleague we once disliked, before, the moment we saw them, irritation arose immediately. We did not want to hear their voice or even see their face. But now it is different. When seeing their face, a thought may still arise. I don't want to see them. Yet we recognize the voice in the mind at once, without sinking into it anymore. Do you notice the voice that speaks inside, saying something like, I don't even want to see his face? Before the sentence even finishes, it disappears instantly. Can you see how thoughts arise and dissolve? When we understand this, truly understand it, then each time a thought pops up, we immediately see it, and it vanishes right there. It does not vanish because we want it to, nor because we force mindfulness to catch it. Nothing needs to be forced at all. The key is simply to understand how it works. The first step is to see clearly that the voice speaking in the mind is what creates everything in this world. Everything comes into being because we think it. Even our parents are known through thought. This body, the arms, the legs, all of it is thought. Look at a leg, and the voice says, "This is a leg." Look at an arm, and it says, "This is an arm." Who is it that says this? Who can understand that this very voice is what constructs the whole story of life? When this is seen, tears flow, a great lightness arises. This is the first opening, about 25% of the way. From there, it deepens. One begins to see that all emotions arise only because of thinking. When this is understood, emotions are no longer given importance. Whether joy or sorrow, it doesn't matter anymore. Why? Because it is clear that emotions appear on their own and vanish on their own. Since birth until today, haven't both happiness and suffering alternated endlessly? And now, when you say, "I'm in suffering, try to bring me the joy you had before." Where is it? It's gone. It cannot be found. Happiness, suffering, or any other emotion, none of them truly remain. They have no fixed self. They are only passing appearances. When things turn out as we wish, joy arises. When they don't, suffering arises. Then more thoughts follow, and the emotion dissolves. Later, another condition arises, a new thought appears, and again joy or disappointment follows. This cycle continues endlessly. Understand this. Emotions are only effects born from thought. When one sees and understands deeply that emotions, whatever they are just passing states, they can be laid down. They are no longer the central concern. The real point is this inner voice. It is the one that keeps pulling us along, dragging us into thoughts of this and that. Suddenly we realize, all along we have been troubled because of this voice itself. From here, the noticing of thought becomes more frequent, more continuous, until it can be seen almost all the time. And then comes the surprise. When listening to the teaching, the burden feels lighter, the heart feels open and clear. From the moment thoughts are seen, life begins to change. For example, when going to work and meeting someone we dislike, normally irritation would arise. But now, just as a thought begins to form, it vanishes instantly. There is no continuation. Sometimes seeing that person, one just smiles gently and moves on with work, wondering, why does it feel so light, so free, so comfortable? Even when the boss complains, which in the past would have caused stress and bad moods, now it is seen as only a voice. The boss may be upset about some issue at work, but strangely, we ourselves do not suffer. Before, the moment the boss started scolding, stress would surge up immediately, as if facing a giant monster ready to devour us. But now the mind understands. This is just a voice, just thoughts in the mind. When the boss says things like, "Did you follow up on yesterday's work? The project has problems. Why didn't you report it? Why didn't you call a meeting? How could you let things go wrong? As a manager, why didn't you follow up?" Previously, this would have caused deep stress, but now another thought arises instead. Why is my boss suffering so much? Problems are part of nature. Why cling to them? Nothing here is truly real. It is as if the voice of the teaching arises within to remind and guide us. Listening often, this inner voice begins to teach on its own. The mind itself develops wisdom. So even when the boss grumbles like a demon full of anger, instead of reacting in rage as before, the mind now thinks, "Oh, how pitiful," like a child, not understanding. The incident has already happened and passed, yet he still clings and complains. What is gained by this? This kind of understanding begins to arise naturally. The heart feels compassion. Seeing people, one feels pity. How unfortunate they are suffering. Yet in truth, suffering does not exist in itself. It is only an appearance born from thought. Gradually, we become compassionate toward this whole world. Seeing people tense and stressed, we think inwardly, "Why suffer? There is nothing truly here. Even this voice speaking is not real." The mind teaches itself like this. It shows clearly that this world is a world of mental fabrications. The boss may continue to grumble, but inwardly we think, "Boss, do you know that you are only playing with fabrications?" Whether or not to say it aloud does not matter, for if spoken, he would not understand. But within, there is only lightness, ease, and a quiet joy. This is what happens. Yet, in the midst of all this, one must notice carefully. Even now, the mind has not fully seen that it is itself thinking. This very moment, here and now, is the true present. It progresses further until emotions no longer hold any interest. What remains is the continuous seeing of thought. At this stage, the mind begins to see thoughts almost automatically. For example, one might think inwardly, "Oh, the people in every department at work. How stressed they all are. Why so much stress?" Or when the boss calls a meeting and starts scolding, the mind thinks, "My boss is so stressed. Soon he will grow old and die faster. Why carry such stress? There's no need at all." And then suddenly it clicks. Wait, right now I am thinking. Do you see? All of our suffering arises because we think. All of our troubles in this world come only because of thought. This whole world exists because of thinking. I have told you, we are the life element, formless, empty, crystal clear, utterly pure. This voice that speaks is just a condition, not who we are. We are only temporarily inhabiting this body in order to learn the mind. If we were to live in the body of a water creature, a land animal, a bird, a being underground, in the air, or even in space, there would be no way to learn the mind. Across countless bodies we have taken birth, yet we have never truly known the mind. Even in this life, most have not recognized it, because no parent, no teacher in this world has ever told us, we are the mind, the life element, empty, clear, and pure. Instead, we were taught only to be human, to think, and to remember, and so we believe ourselves to be human. Then we think, remember, and struggle, becoming slaves to paper. Today, people kill and harm one another just for the sake of acquiring paper. But what is paper for? To buy one meal, to sleep, to wake, and then again to be a slave of society, a slave of paper, competing, insulting, hating, harming, all just for another meal, then sleep again and repeat. Utter ignorance. In truth, we are not involved with any of this at all. We are the mind. We are the life element, empty, clear, and supremely pure. Our pure element is like a transparent essence that blends seamlessly with the element of the cosmos. This pure element cannot be known as something because it has no form. Within it, there is no fabrication. It does not move, it does not stir. It abides in stillness, silence, peace. It neither comes nor goes, neither arises nor breaks apart. It has no form at all. Within it there is no merit, no sin, no good, no evil, no human, no animal, no female, no male, no parent, no child. The pure element cannot have parents or multiply offspring, for it has no body. We are all one and the same, inseparable from the cosmic element. But we do not know this. It is ignorance. Therefore, we must learn to know ourselves. If we do not realize that we are the pure element, we will continue needing a vessel, a body to inhabit. Again and again, we will take up new containers. Thus, we must understand, how can we recognize that we are the pure element? The answer is, the element must create manifestations in order to know itself. To know anything at all, there must be a tool. Even to know itself, the element requires a tool. Without such a tool, we cannot recognize our own nature. Therefore, the pure element creates a manifestation called knowing. In the very beginning, there were no conditions at all, only crystal clear purity, the deathless element, the primal source of all things. This source element is supreme. All else depends on it. But for it to learn, it creates the act of knowing to veil itself, like a mist of fabrication. It is like a bubble. Originally, we were the clear emptiness that blended with the cosmos. But once this mist of fabrication was formed, a knowing arose that enclosed itself, like being inside a bubble. Separated now from the wholeness of the cosmos, it appeared as something with form, with identity. This is called the subtle body, or the body of fabrication. When something touches the surface of the bubble, it perceives it, and a ripple arises, which then transforms into meaning. Yet because it is not complete, it cannot fully know all things. The pure element has never moved, never gone anywhere, never come from anywhere, because it has no form. Nothing can enclose it, so it has never been anything at all. Do you understand? When I speak like this, will human beings be able to grasp it? I am speaking as clearly and as simply as possible. In truth, it is very simple. Awakening to the mind, the state of non-birth, the end of suffering. It is the simplest thing. Listen carefully. Let the mind incline to understand. Put aside all the knowledge you have ever gathered. Be like an empty glass with no water. Do not use the brain. Do not think. Do not memorize. Just attune yourself to my voice. Follow inward, and let the mind see clearly that we are the life element, crystal clear and pure. This pure element has never had form from the very beginning. In order to learn anything, it had to create a form, to create the condition of knowing that it could enclose itself. Like a bubble, it could then receive, ripple, and move. This bubble begins to ripple and fabricate, moving with attraction to cling to material form. Once it clings to material form, life begins. From a single cell, it develops into multicellular beings, until eventually becoming human, complete and most refined of all. Among all forms of matter, the human body is the highest, the most excellent vessel. This is because of the evolved brain, capable of fine reasoning and logic, unlike other creatures who cannot think in this detailed way. Please understand this. For those who cannot yet see, listen many times. Our faculty of wisdom may still be small. Truly, we have never heard this teaching before, but by listening often, by listening again and again, understanding grows clearer. Then there will be lightness, freedom, and a direct clarity into the pure element. Now, when the movement of attraction clings to material form and we gain a human body, it is the greatest fortune. The chance of a mind obtaining a human vessel is extremely rare, almost zero. I compare it to the soil of the whole earth. Countless grains of dust are the minds taking birth in animal bodies, but only one tiny pinch between two fingers. That is human birth. The percentage of being born human is only 0.00 to 1%. Therefore, we should recognize our great fortune in being born human with this vessel. Yet this human body is also a coarse vessel. Its law is impermanence. It cannot remain for long. It must be sustained by food. Even one meal a day is enough to keep it alive. Still, its lifespan is brief. The average is only 70 years or so. Some live only a single day, some an hour, some no more than 7 days. Even this very evening, we might lose this body. Death is certain. It will come to each of us without exception. Thus, the time we truly have is very little indeed. When we come to dwell in this coarse vessel, this is only the shell. This body is not our body. Who among us can truly understand this? Or perhaps still cannot, and I must explain again. We are the element of emptiness, clear, pure, and bright. That is what we really are. But we created conditions, fabrications, called knowing. We wrapped ourselves in them, like forming a bubble around us. This bubble of fabrication became our tool, and so we live within it, dwelling in conditions, in the acts of knowing, thinking, imagining, remembering, and feeling. This bubble is only a tool. It is not who we are. This is the second layer. The first is the pure element itself. The second is the fabricated conditions that we ourselves created to cover us, what we may call the bubble. These conditions veil us, just like the voice I am speaking now, or the voices that constantly speak within your mind. That inner voice is the mist of fabrication that covers us. This means the voice in the mind is not truly ours. The images we imagine are not ours. The emotions are not ours. Whether pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, they are not who we are. Even memory is not ours. Even the very act of knowing is not us, but only a condition of fabrication that has wrapped itself around us. This is precisely why we cannot awaken to the pure element, because we are endlessly entangled in fabrications, thinking, imagining, feeling, remembering, fabricating again, moment after moment. We keep living inside this bubble of fabrication and cannot see through to the pure element. So I speak clearly now. All these things are not us. They are merely conditions of the mind. The voice speaking is not us. Then when the bubble moves and clings to a body, we fabricate the thought, this is my body, I am male, I am female, I am a person. And in that instant we forget that we are truly the pure element. We forget that voice speaking is only a tool. We rely on these tools, on this vessel, until we come to believe it is real. No parent, no teacher in this world has ever taught this truth. This is why I must declare openly the knowledge of awakening to the mind. It is this simple. Just see clearly that these things function on their own. When this is seen, the bubble we created bursts apart into fine fragments. Then we become emptiness, merging with the whole universe. This is what happened to me, but to arrive at this understanding, no one ever taught it. I had to search by myself, observing inwardly, remaining awake until it became automatic. I saw thought continuously, from waking until sleep, every moment, every fraction of a second, watching as thought spun and spun until at last it burst apart completely. And then I knew I am the pure element, one with the entire universe. Everything else is not me. After that realization, I could do nothing but teach. So I began to declare this truth openly to the world. For many, just listening to a single talk was enough to bring tears flowing, and suddenly they awakened to see we are the pure element. They knew as well that there would be no more birth, no more suffering. When going to work, I would only feel compassion for the people in the factory, in the company. I would wonder, why are they suffering? Why are they stressed? When in truth there is nothing at all. Life then is lived without clinging to anything, living in the world but not lost in the world, being with the world yet not grasping at anything in it. Speaking happens, but there is no clinging to the idea of I am speaking. Thinking happens, but there is no grasping of I am thinking. Imagining happens, but there is no grasping of I am imagining. When joy arises, it is simply joy arising and passing on its own. There has never been a me who is joyful. When sorrow arises, it is simply sorrow arising and dissolving by itself. There has never been a me who is sorrowful. Memory recalls on its own. There is no me who remembers. What is knowing right now? What hears a sound right now? It is knowing on its own. Do you see? Smelling happens by itself, seeing by itself, breathing by itself, tasting by itself. Look carefully. Who can see this? Where is the self in all this? If one sees that the act of knowing knows by itself, the bubble will burst instantly. If one sees that the thought that is thinking right now thinks by itself, the bubble will burst instantly. Now imagine, when the bubble breaks open, the crystal clear emptiness that was once confined inside is released and merges with the whole universe. When I turned inward, awake within, I saw that thoughts were not me, they thought on their own. At that point, it all simply continued, whirling on its own, until finally it shattered completely. Then came a radiance, brilliant, pure, clear, filling the entire cosmos. In that moment there was no time, no distance, only the purest, most luminous element. And knowing here has no language. It is direct knowing. It knows there will be no more births. It knows there is no more suffering, and not even the smallest speck of doubt remains. It is like realizing we had been deceived all along. In truth, nothing has ever really existed at all. It is like when we are dreaming, and in the dream a ghost comes to frighten us. But when we suddenly wake, there is nothing there at all. Everything was imagined. Nothing ever truly existed. When the truth is seen, tears fall. But then comes the question, how can we teach human beings to understand this? In fact, it is very simple, truly simple, not difficult at all. This knowledge of awakening to the mind, if someone does not know it, if they do not see the voice inside their own mind, it is truly unfortunate. So remember this, you must see the voice speaking inside. You must see the thinking happening in the mind. For example, when it says, "What shall I eat today?" See clearly that it is this very voice that creates the whole story. From this comes the first knowledge. Seeing the voice is only the beginning. If you see the voice but no wisdom arises, then awakening has not yet happened. But if you see the voice and begin to ask, who is speaking here? Oh, this is thought. This voice itself is thought, invented by the mind. This voice is what gives value and meaning to everything, to arms, to legs, to parents, to houses, to cars. Then a deeper question arises. Where is the self in all of this? If everything is just voice, then why are we here in this world? What are we doing here? What are we searching for? From this, understanding grows. Nothing is self, nothing is truly here. At this point, the bubble bursts. There arises lightness, freedom, and a feeling like losing all the knowledge one had clung to. The realization dawns that everything in this world, from birth until now, was only thought creating stories. This is the first 25% of wisdom, the opening of the eye of Dhamma. From then on, thought is seen continuously. It shows itself. And finally, one sees that what is knowing right now, what is thinking right now, bursts apart. There is nothing real. This is the awakening, to see that we have never truly been born into this world at all. We are the pure, crystal clear element that merges with the entire cosmos. When this is realized, the question arises, why then do we suffer? There is nothing that needs suffering. Why harm one another? Why hate? Why kill? When nothing truly exists, what is there to fight for? Such knowledge arises, and when one sees people in distress, in turmoil, the heart feels only compassion. How pitiful, how lost they are in their illusions. Some are caught up in striving, in practice, walking, sitting, performing austerities. Seeing this brings great compassion. Do they realize that what they are doing is creating more sense of self? Do they realize that they are clinging to the body as if it were truly theirs? Do they realize that they are still thinking? They will never know. All that can be done is to feel compassion, deep compassion from the heart, asking, how can one be so blind? Once I too was blind, but when awakening came, it became clear. This is not what humanity has been doing all along. Freedom from suffering, freedom from the endless cycle of birth and death, never to be born again, is something simple. Just listen to my talks. Set a firm resolve each day and follow it. Listen every day until my voice resounds within your mind. Share these talks through the 𝙈𝙨 channel so that people across the world may hear. Whoever realizes within the mind that they will not be born again, that they are already free from suffering, that person is liberated 100%. We are the clear, pure element without form. This pure element created a bubble around itself, then moved and attached itself to the human body, giving meaning to it as if it were our body. In truth, this body is not ours. Do you see? We are only dwelling in the body so that we can think, imagine, feel emotions, and receive impressions, so that fabrication can unfold fully. But we fail to notice that the voice is not ours, the images are not ours, the emotions, even the act of knowing, are not us. They are only tools we created. Has anyone ever taught you this before? It is time to go home. Why keep searching? Searching only for what is not truly us, not truly ours. What is the point? It is nothing but exhaustion. Have you forgotten that we only dwell temporarily in this body? Have you forgotten that this body will break apart and die? Have you forgotten that we are mind, the pure life element? We rely on this voice, but do you see? The voice itself fabricates on its own. It is speaking within all the time. Notice, it gives meaning to everything. Can you see that it speaks on its own, thinks on its own, imagines on its own, creates images on its own, and from that, emotions arise, sometimes satisfaction as happiness, sometimes dissatisfaction as suffering, sometimes neutrality, sometimes calm. See this clearly. All these are only ripples in the bubble of fabrication. As long as we do not see, we keep generating these fabrications to cover ourselves, like a bubble, and then we believe that they are me and mine. Do you see that the act of knowing happens on its own? It hears sounds by itself. It arises by itself. Can you see? All of this functions on its own. Where is the self in it? This body ages, decays, and dies. Where is the self in that? This voice speaks on its own all the time. Where is the self in that? The mental images, the emotions, the knowing, all ripple and fabricate according to their conditions. Where is the self in any of it? If you can see this right now, it is finished. In that very moment, you will know for yourself what you truly are. You will see why you have been so foolish, lost in illusions. The mind will even scold itself. How could I have been so stupid? You will see that nothing has ever truly existed. And then, when you look at the people of the world, you will see who has not yet moved, who has not yet grasped the essential point. You will feel deep compassion. How pitiful, they do not listen. Yet some, when told, immediately incline, understand, and awaken in a flash, breaking into tears and expressing heartfelt gratitude. Oh, thank you, thank you. Their lives are transformed. Whoever listens to my talks will find their lives changing. They will feel happier, lighter, brighter. At work, they will smile, feel at ease. When they see others caught up in stress, arguments, and suffering, They will wonder, why suffer? If there is a problem at work, then solve it. For example, that department hasn't resolved this issue yet. I'm fed up. What should I do? The answer is simple. Just report it to the boss. I've already coordinated with this person, and soon they will come and fix it. I've done what I can. Now report it to the boss, so he can help speed things up. See, the work is being done already. All we need to do is watch, continue step by step, solving what can be solved. Why get stressed? Why suffer? Be with the present moment, right here, right now. If the problem can be solved, good. If it cannot yet be solved, keep working at it. Either way, whether resolved or not, there is ease. Don't cling, don't worry. There is no self in it at all. We are mind, the pure life element, empty, clear, and radiant. We only use this body temporarily. We only use this voice for communication. It has value only in this world. The body is a tool, useful only here, but we do not take it with us. It is not who we are. The voice, too, is only for communication in this world. It is not who we are, and we do not take it with us. Mental images are just tools, used here for expression. Emotions, whether joy, sorrow, satisfaction, dissatisfaction, calm or neutrality, are only tools as well, used temporarily in this world, nothing more. Our pure element does not need any of these things at all. Even this very act of knowing, it knows on its own. Understand this, and there will be no suffering. Why suffer when all of this is only nature? When problems arise, address them, be aware of them, but do not sink into emotion. Do not generate emotions of sorrow or joy. Do not weave endless stories, thoughts, and fabrications. Otherwise, the result is stress, sleeplessness, and illness, nervous disorders, migraines, depression, acid reflux, ulcers, even cancer, all because of stress, because we keep playing with thought, never stopping, until it becomes disease, clinging and doubting throughout the years and lifetimes. Every one of us, child or elder, disabled or healthy, woman or man, of every faith, every race, every nation, can awaken to the mind. No one is excluded. Whoever realizes first is freed first. No more birth. Whoever does not yet realize must listen again and again until the principle is grasped. The principle is simple. We are the pure, clear element without form. We created fabrications to cover ourselves. This voice we hear, we created it. If you want liberation, you must see clearly that the voice speaks by itself. Look, it speaks, and then disappears word by word. That is the truth itself being displayed. Mental images arise and dissolve. Emotions, whether happiness, sorrow, satisfaction, dissatisfaction, are all the same. Do not grasp at happiness or resist sorrow, for in reality they are one and the same. Voice, image, emotions, memory, and even the act of knowing, all are only tools. Each one performs its own duty. The officer of knowing does its knowing. The officer of imagining does its imagining. The officer of emotion does its work of forming emotions. The officer of thought thinks its thoughts. None of this involves us. We are only the witness, seeing these conditions arise and dissolve by themselves. There is no self in them at all. When this is understood, the mind becomes light, at ease. Appearances play out on their own. All bodies arise only to age, sicken, and break apart. There are no exceptions. This is their law. We will not be born again. This is our final life. We are not born to cling or possess, nor to suffer over anything. We were born only to awaken to the mind, and to declare this truth so that all beings may awaken as well. When this spreads, the world will enter a new age of harmony, an age where all live together in peace, free of harm. Why? Because nothing belongs to anyone. If nothing is mine, then why harm another? Why boast, I am wealthy, I am powerful? I can crush everything. I own all the land. Such things are illusions. In reality, there is only sharing, for nothing is ours. We take nothing with us. If we have much, we give to those with little. A single plate of food is enough to live happily. Listen, all of the talks I have given, when you listen and let them incline into the mind, bring ease, bring freedom from clinging. Knowing arises and passes away. Thought arises and passes away. Simply recognize and let it go. If you fail to notice, know that you failed to notice. It has already passed. If you do notice, know that you noticed, and it has already passed. Either way, it passes. What more do you want? Emotions arise and fade. What more is there to cling to? Live lightly. Do not cling, and there will be no suffering. Tell everyone, let no one suffer over anything. Suffering has no true existence. Even happiness has no true existence. Both happiness and suffering are empty of self. Just recognize them as natural. Understand them, but do not cling. Even this voice I am speaking now, I do not feel that I am speaking anything at all. I do not even feel that this is a voice. There is no speaker, no listener. Nothing has arisen at all. It is like this always. Understand this deeply. So I will end here. May all of you who incline your mind, who listen and reflect, awaken within to the pure, empty, radiant life element, suddenly and directly. May it be so for all of you. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening, mind observation, and transcending suffering through wisdom, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback. And if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.